That's a good question.
No, that's one of the
NCAA.
Bring out your own water.
What's up, Max?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I just had some eggs and they went down the wrong pipe, so I cough a little bit.
So what's it like? I mean, you're back here. Obviously, this place means a lot to you, your family, and all that. So to be back here coaching after 10 years?
Oh, even more than that, I think. What is it, 13 years now?
13, yeah.
Because I remember not making it back for the 10-year reunion. It's been great. I mean, I think it's been, not a lot of people get to do that, right? To go back to where it all started for them and, you know, be in the position that we're in with the staff that we have. I think we got a really good staff. You know, spearheaded by our chief of staff up there, who's the best in the business. But joking aside, like, we got a good staff, we got good people, and it's good to be back around the Spartans and bringing the Spartans back together, whether that's former guys or new guys we're bringing in, but hopefully bringing back that identity of what being a Spartan means.
How did it come together? You know, obviously, how many, 4 years at Notre Dame, or however many that was? But
Three. Yep.
To, I guess with Pat and Joe, you know, the defense kind of coming together a little early, and you were one of the first hires. Just kind of that conversation, and like Pat was just up here talking about where you want to be in your coaching future and how this fits into it.
So what's the question exactly?
How like the process, like leaving Notre Dame to come here, just, you know, kind of how that worked out. It seemed like it came together quickly.
Yeah, it did. You know, I think, you know, it was something that Coach Fitz, I'm blessed. He reached out to me pretty early on in the process. I think that was just, you know, from, I don't know what made it to be me at first. I'm sure there were some voices here that thought that might be a good idea. As soon as I heard Coach Fitz was getting the job, I knew right away, or that he was even in contention for it, I knew that he would be a great fit here. Just knowing, because we played against him. We know, I mean, the guy won every award when he played. Like, he's a linebacker, he's a football guy. When you watch him out of practice, the guy loves ball. I mean, he just loves football. It's like he goes back to being 22 years old every time we're on the field. And so the transition has been one that's been difficult. I mean, it's difficult, it's hard. We just had our fourth baby. You know what I mean? We had a baby and the movers at the house on the same day. You know, like, stuff's moving fast. You're learning a new defense, one that's Coach Rossi's put together over a long period of time, a really good, proven defense. But, you know, new terminology for me and new things for me as I'm coaching guys that have been in the system. So that's the reality of it, is there's a lot going on. And right now we're in the getting our gears grinding and starting to get the momentum going. But right now we're in the, you know, where we got to build foundation right now. And that's the time it is right now.
How excited would your grandpa have been to know you're here now and you've returned? I mean, it's a family lineage, right? And I mean, it started with him, right? Duffy Doherty. What would it mean to him?
Well, I think you'd have to ask him. I don't know how much he would tell me or not, because he never got that much out of him that way. But I think it would, at the end of the day, I think it would mean a lot. I think it means a lot to my grandmother, who's still alive, Max Bullough, because we're back in her home and back in her hometown, and she's still alive, and she's my only remaining grandparent. So having my kids and having my wife and me and my family here close to her and back to where, you know, I mean, she goes to every basketball game, women's and men's. Like, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool moment.
Max, when you went into coaching, did the idea of coming back here, you know, was that always on your mind? Was it ever on your mind? Yeah, it's hard to, you know, in that profession to be like, I want to go work here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be hired, but like,
Sure.
How much did you think about coming back here once you went down this path, I guess is really what I'm asking?
When I first started coaching, I didn't think about it at all. I thought all I wanted to do was go to the NFL. That's all I thought about. I just got done playing, and my mind was in the NFL world. And that's what I thought I wanted to do. Having, you know, had GA to Cincinnati for a year, 3 at Alabama, 3 at Notre Dame, and then coming here, just like somewhere in that time frame, really once I was able to get to Notre Dame and have my own room, which is where the magic comes for me, like when you're able to coach your own room and have your own guys, like the connection that you're able to build with guys that are this 18 to 22 years old, especially when we're able to bring your own guys in, watch them come in, watch them develop, and see what they turn into in terms of football players and in terms of men. And I'm not saying you can't have that in the NFL. I don't know. I was part of a really good room in Houston. My coach, Rabel, was my coach. A lot of the reason I coach is because of him. He's kind of the one that I was like, I could be like you know, I admire that guy. Not that I didn't admire everyone here. It's just like we had a lot in common. So it wasn't something I thought about at all at the beginning. But then once I kind of realized that I think college is what's, you know, the best thing for me, then I started thinking about it. Especially with all the coaching changes going on And I wasn't in a time in my career when the other ones happened, but I certainly started, especially this cycle, to start thinking about coming back.
What was it like when you first went on the field as a coach here? Is that a little different?
It's a little different. Yeah, it's always a little different as a coach. Like, first of all, it's just different as a coach, but it felt good. I mean, it feels like home. It messed me up that we switched sides of where Indies is and stuff. Like, I'm like, what do you mean we're supposed to be over here? But I got that figured out pretty quick. But it's as special as you make it, right? Like we always say, Michigan State and the Spartan Dogs and all that's as special as the people that are involved in it make it, right? And we still have some guys that are the Spartan Dogs, that like Javon Ringer's still around here all the time. We got a bunch of Spartan Dogs in our locker room now that are fighting to earn that title. A lot of them have already earned it. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. But that's what I feel when I go in there. I feel the people. I think about all my friends and the guys and the teammates I played with that really made this place what it is, which is the people.
Who have you heard from in terms of old teammates? You probably hear from a lot on a regular basis, but are there some from the past that you hadn't heard from in a while that's like, man, that was cool to hear from that guy?
Yeah, there's quite a few of those actually. Like there's a lot. Like I'm not the best at communicating with people all the time, like staying in touch, but what I am good at is like when if you and I play together and you call me 2 years after we talked, like it's like we never left off. Right, like that's just kind of how I operate. But it was cool to hear from some of the younger guys that were younger than me, that didn't even necessarily play with me, that were really fired up. I mean, there was a lot of reaction when I got hired here. It's not about me, but it was just cool to me. That was the specialty of what makes this place special. Was all those people coming together. Yeah, I happen to be the subject in that case, but that's just one subject. That's one case. But the magic of bringing those people together and that unity and that bond and that you look on the threads and all the discussion groups online and all, like those people that's what makes this place special, is bringing people together. I happen to be the subject of this one. The 2026 team is going to be the subject of the next one.
Any names you want to share with us from the past? Reached out. You're happy.
Well, I just don't want to. I don't want to shortchange anybody. That's my question. So I don't want to do here because there was a lot that meant a lot. I mean, Benny Fowler's been one of my friends for a long time. I mean, obviously Marcus Rush, he's marrying my cousin, for crying out loud. Almost everyone I play with. Hoover Todd, R.J. Williams, Darquez Denard, Curtis Drummond. I mean, Denzel Drone's still here. I heard from a lot of different people. Kenny Willick, I mean, you name it. Obviously Bocce, he's my brother-in-law. I'm sure you guys know that. So there's been a lot of people. I mean, and I'm missing Tony Lippett, like guys that like I haven't talked to in a long time. And I talked to Will Grosson, a year ago, kind of about it. It wasn't about this, but there was a lot of guys that reached out. And it meant that I always say, like, I've been fortunate to be a lot of different places and be around a lot of good people, right? To this day, one of the things that means the most to me is being a two-time captain at Michigan State. It just is what it is. Like, I just voted on by the players, especially my junior year. Like, that's something that's always meant a lot to me. And that kind of was that feeling again when this actually ended up happening.
And day one of practice here, D'Antonio's on the sideline. So it's just a lot of those train tracks.
Oh, yeah, Coach D, if you guys have been here long enough, Coach D's a little bit like my grandpa. Yeah. Where he just comes and goes. He's up in the building. He might use a copy machine. He's going to come say hi to somebody. Like, it's literally like they just switch spots. It's hilarious. But Coach D, yeah, he's been up here a few times. He looks great. Spry. He's been fun to talk to. He seems to be doing really well.
I apologize if this is a sensitive topic, but with you coming back, a lot of people asked about the Rose Bowl and
Sure.
the suspension. Can you elaborate on what exactly happened there? And
Yeah, you've been dying to ask that one, huh? I know you guys have been dying to ask that one. Who might answer that one? So we just established that was 13 years ago, right? So my focus and my energy and my attention is on the 2026 Spartans and my beautiful wife, Bailey, and my 4 boys, Rocky, Teddy, Banks, and Murphy. We'll leave the past where the past is. It has nothing to do with what we're doing moving forward. And so let's talk about the 2026 Spartans.
is it something, when you talk about young men being mentored and things, and that's a hard challenge, you talked about the meaning of being a 2-time captain, Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all, it doesn't get bigger than that. When you are coaching young men and they go through struggles and different issues, is that something that you can use and lean on of, like, I've been in these situations. I've struggled, had things, go differently than I'd like to in a career. Is that something you can lean on?
I've never used it in that context. I have used other things in terms of adversity that I've gone through. I've never brought that up intentionally as a point of learning. But I certainly have used other times of adversity in my life to come, to connect with the players. As I know everyone comes from different places and has different issues. And the ones that I can relate to and connect to, ultimately it's my job to connect to them regardless, right? So I got to find a way to connect to them, so I'll do that in any way I have to. If that was the situation where I felt like that would help, then I would, but it hasn't come up yet.
How was it, Michigan State hasn't had the most success on the field in the last couple of years.
Right.
What's it been like watching that from afar? Maybe not so far, Notre Dame isn't so far away, but just what your view of the program has been from the outside since you left.
Well, first of all, I'd never want to be disrespectful for anyone that put on the green and white, because it's an honor and a privilege, and that we take that personal. And if we're going to sit here in front of you and say that now, then it's true when things aren't going your way as well. So I'll say that first. Second of all, and this is a God's honest truth, you're a football coach, brother, you don't get to watch a lot of other teams. You just don't. So I haven't been able to watch a ton of it. I remember trouble with the snap when I was playing in the league, but once I started GAing and coaching, you're so focused like this that you legitimately don't have time. And so that's kind of what it's been like. And I've watched it a few times, but I've been so on my skin. You're thinking about the next team and the next, what do we, you know what I mean? I just genuinely, that's my God, I haven't had time to watch them. I just haven't had time.
Couple more for Max.
Had you been back at all, Max?
I came back in 2015. I was honorary captain. We lost to Ohio State here. That was the last time I was here.
Until you got the job?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of new buildings. This whole place. That's the question y'all should ask. This place looks completely different. If y'all remember, no 1855. There was no nothing. None of that. There was no graduate. There was nothing.
Same indoor.
Same indoor. It's turf. That's all you need, right? What the hell we need? What else we need?
What do you think about Joe Rossi? What's it been like working with him? Learning new, so maybe it's new, I guess, but some pieces got to be new, I guess.
Yeah, sir. Anytime you go and work for a new, DC that's had success and has coached for a long time, you're always going to learn something. I've had the privilege to work for 3 guys back to back to back that have had a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and Coach Rossi's, right in that list. He's, his experience and what he's been through and what he's seen and how he knows the issues that are going to come up and how he can be proactive about it is really second to none from anyone I've been around, and it's been really fun to learn from him. People see football a lot of different ways, right? People look at football a lot of different ways. They call things different. They view things different. So it's always really interesting to go and see how someone that has as much experience as Coach Rossi does, how they see the game and how their defense is set up and why it's set up that way. They're playing different opponents than, for example, our defense is set up for at Notre Dame. But it's been awesome. He's been great to me. I've tried to ask as many questions as I can and learn from him. But I really appreciate him letting me come in here and coach the linebackers, because I assume that's a little bit difficult for him. He's been doing linebackers in DC for a long time, and I've told him privately. But now that I got the opportunity to, I appreciate him making room for me, because I know that can be hard.
What type of traits does Jordan Hall have that allow him to be the leader of the linebackers on defense?
Well, Jordan Hall's he's a captivating guy. Maybe that's not the right word, but people are drawn to him, right? People are drawn to Jordan. So the way that he carries himself, the way that, first of all, he's the one that's, there's a couple other guys, and I don't want to speak, but he's been here for a long time, right? He's played a lot of ball. He played through more than half the season hurt last year, which is a big deal, and so they respect him for that. But people are drawn to him, and so for me, it's to Jordan. The message to Jordan is, people are drawn to you, brother. What energy are you giving back? Because you got to be on it all the time. There isn't any time where it's like you can be down. You have to be on it all the time. And we actually had a little incident early in spring where he was frustrated, and then that was one day because we would pull him out. He's a good player. At some point in springtime, we pull guys out. He was frustrated, didn't handle it well. He comes back the next time it happens and was an asset to us on the sideline. Was a completely different person. So I think that's a testament to the kind of guy he is, and the teammate that he's just striving to be. We're all trying to be better. He's striving to be better. He made a mistake that one day, and he got better from it. He's helped me a lot, and I can admit that. I know he and Coach Rossi are very close, And then he knows Coach Rossi's defense like the back of his hand. I have no problem asking Jordan, how do y'all see this? How do we do this last year? Like, bop, bop, bop. That's been a really big asset for me in the meeting room, and he's been great. He's been coachable. He's been great.
I think we have one more from Steve.
Did you ever talk to Coach Narduzzi? When you were playing, he told me, this guy could probably coach the defense right now.
That's a contract. Yeah, I do. Coach Dew's and I still stay in touch. Probably most of any of the coaches, me and Dew stay in touch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You knew what you could do, you know, in terms of X's and O's.
Tell him he had his chances.
Yeah.
He told me he had his chances.
One more, Steve.
Sure, yeah. I wonder, Max, any parallels you see with Pat Fitzgerald and what he's trying to do here in the early stages versus the program that you were in? You weren't there on day one necessarily, but you were there for sort of the build. And any similarities to your days and to what he's trying to do here, you think?
Well, I think every coach is really unique and they have their own style. I think that's the first thing, and I think that's one of the most important things about being a coach, whether you're an assistant coach, a head coach, a coordinator, is to be yourself. And I think nobody does that better than Coach Fitz. He's himself all the time, right? As was Coach D'Antonio. So naturally, there are going to be differences. Coach Fitz is a little bit more animated, Coach D was a little bit more docile. But the toughness, the relentless attitude, pursuit, and the grit, the physicality that we have to stop the run and run the ball, the common themes you guys have heard that you'd consider coach talk at this point, that's not coach talk. It's just a reality. People call it coach talk because you hear it a lot, but it's reality. So those core fundamentals are still in there because that's what it takes to win at a place like this. And so I think you bring those things together, both Coach D and Coach Fitz both have them in different ways.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Coach DeBack up next.